Today's session will be moderated by Dr. Nagpal Singh, Academic Director of HEMA Foundation and renowned researcher of cognitive intelligence. The topic being positive discipline practices at home and at school. The session outline will be an introduction of the keynote speakers and panelists, and thereafter will be enlightened by them on their thoughts and experiences in the field. Anita Maheshwari ji, Creative Director, HEMA Foundation, will then associate this topic with our HEMA Foundation values. And of course, we cannot forget how beautifully she narrates it with her beautiful poem. I now invite Dr. Nagpal Singh to start the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hetalji. Thank you so much. And first of all, I really feel admired that we are starting on a very positive note. So welcome everyone here. Before I go on, I'll just introduce the panels and the family of HEMA Foundation. Thereon, I'll put on certain I should say interventions that can allow you to explore it further and go on into your topics. HEMA Foundation is envisioned by a great mind and a great philosopher, thinker, I should say, though he's a cooperator, by Shri Mahendraji Kabra. He's the managing director of HEMA Foundation. It is his vision that somehow we need to take these values to the society. And along with always stood in these values to take forward was Madam Anita Maheshwari, who is the creative director of HEMA Foundation. She has really done a tremendous work based on the moral concepts and the value concepts. She has not only prepared movies, but has really made a relevance of those movies with our entire education system. So I welcome Anita ji in today's session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal. और जैसा कि मैं हमेशा बताती हूँ कि ये हेम मंथन जो एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, इसमें हम हमेशा विचारों का मंथन करते हैं और जब भी मंथन करते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से अमृत के समान कुछ ना कुछ नया विचार, कोई ऐसी वैचारिक क्रांति जरूर आएगी जो हमें कुछ नई राह दिखाएगी, कुछ आगे बढ़ाएगी. थैंक यू सो मच.
I hope so. I hope so. In fact, आज तक का जितना भी हेम मंथन जो चर्निंग ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग हुआ है, believe me, I'd been taking note of everything, and it can become a kind of lessons. 17 lessons are there. Definitely. Followed by Anita ji, we have a very beautiful mind, Dr. Chinu Agrawal. She's a great and renowned psychologist. And for me, when I'm exploring a company, other than psychology, she's a jack of all trade. I'm finding her a perfect human being and very good academician. I welcome Dr. Chinu.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal. Glad to be here and looking forward to the deliberations today.
Thank you so much. Then we have Madam Shipra. She's part of HEMA Foundation, is looking after many other activities. I welcome Madam Shipra also on today's program.
Welcome to HEM Manthan.
Thank you, Shipra ji. We have Rajiv ji, who is really enhancing the stimulation capacities of the brain every day morning with a fabulous program is running, HEM Sampark. This is a mega contest which is going to be conducted on 28th June, though we'll have the details, but it is his, I would not call it as a brainchild, it is his brain that is really tantalizing every brain. He is a BITS alumni and Associate Director of Sri Rajiv ji Bhargava.
Thank you, Dr. Nagpal, and look forward to an exciting session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Then we have Madam Hetal Desai, who was instructing us, the backbone, the Associate Director, and wonderfully she has formulated activities which people are conducting on HEM Virtues and other programs. I welcome Hetal also.
Thank you, Nagpal ji. Again, a warm welcome to everyone.
Thank you so much, Hetal ji. And then we have two backbones working here, Mr. Akash and Arvind, who is looking after that we should remain connected. I welcome them as well. Now I'll go on introduction of today's panelists. seriously, when I had this list of introduction, I felt very happy that everybody has been doing what they are going to speak today. So I have Chandrasekhar Joshi, the keynote speaker of today's program. He is a founder principal of Viva the School, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. He's got a massive experience of 3 decades in teaching and administration, which is, if I have to put into words, it's been around 15 years for TZT and PZT, and the rest from last 16 years, he's really leading a great institution. She had also founded a DISA Therapy School. Sir, we are delighted to have you on this platform. Chandrasekhar Joshi.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Can we have Dr. Padmaja Kuti? She's a principal of Ramnivas Bajaj High School of Rajasthani Sammelan Education Trust Campus, Malad. Has a rich experience of 23 years in teaching, general administration, training, educational assessments, and the student relations. That's really something great. She's been facilitating social drive, sensitize students, and make them responsible citizens. I mean, like somehow collaterally connected with us is working on the value part. So, Madam Padma, Hema Manthan, Hema Foundation is delighted to have you.
Thank you, and it instills me with a sense of humble pride to be amongst people who are imparting values to the future generations. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Then we have Dr. Janki Verma. She is a counseling psychologist and a psychotherapist over an experience of around a decade. Majority of her experience is working with children with special needs, and she is a practicing hypnotherapist. We need you, madam. And Hema Foundation, Hema Manthan welcomes you on this platform.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal. It's an honor being over here.
Ours as well, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Then we have Madam Aditya. She's an academic coordinator, CPSC coordinator, and examination coordinator of Disha Public School Kota. Has an experience of 2 decades, 20 years. And she has published some national and international papers. And she also conducts shows on All India Radio. It's great to have you on this platform also. We're delighted.
Good evening, sir, and thank you so much for giving this beautiful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Right now, we'll open the platform for discussions. And I'll start with a research. I was reading a book, long back I read a book, so I considered it in a few days as well. Everyday rituals. This was basically a research which was conducted on the most successful people around the world. What exactly they did whole day. And believe me, there was in stark similarities in all successful persons. All means you name any, you'll be finding that person included in that research. And what was the research? What was their time when they get up? What was their everyday routine? Was it associated with health, associated with readings, associated with social or other activities they were involved into it? Can I tell you, I have done a deep study of it. There were 3 stark similarities. Everybody was having a routine of health investment. They were doing something for the health.
Sir, Nagpal sir, sorry. Sir, आपका आवाज रुक के आ रहा है. थोड़ा सा please.
Okay, I should come closer.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, thank you. And another similarity they had the regularity. They were following that routine. And the third stark similarity was they were having certain objectives in their life. Today's topic is somewhat like that itself. Our children's in the families and schools. Obviously, they are not with us from an year and a half because of pandemic. I call it Chinese virus. But whenever the children or whoever remains with us, the instruction part is very high. Whereas discipline does not demand the instructions exactly. I have seen in the families that if I quote with an example, the mom will wake up the child by intimidating, "Tu chutta ya tere papa ko jagaun." So there is somebody who's sleeping or getting up on the time and being threatened to wake up somebody else. The total concept of the positive habit revolves around with everybody. You cannot really take one apart. Discipline is not for one. It is inclusive. We all understand it. Being the head of the school, doesn't it mean that you are there to make others disciplined? We understand it. So how can those positive attitudes and the positive discipline can be inculcated amongst the children by our behavior, instruction, or by certain methodologies that which we think or which you feel appropriate to be shared here? That is the talk of the day today. The keynote speaker has around 8 to 10 minutes and our panelists are having around 5 to 7 minutes. The flow of today's event moves as after keynote speaker, other fellow speakers are called in. And if time permits us, we'll be having certain deliberations. If there are certain questions that can be taken into it. Obviously, it will be concluded in the end by Dr. Anita, Madam Anita Maheshwari. So without any ado, I'd invite my keynote speaker of today, Mr. Chandrasekhar Joshi, to open the forum and let us flow in the ocean of knowledge, sir. You're welcome.
Am I audible? Let me check.
Yeah.
Very clear, sir. Please continue.
Yes, very good. At the outset, I express thanks from the core of my heart to HEMA Foundation and the people associated with HEMA Foundation that they have shortlisted me and invited me as a keynote speaker for this session. In fact, the term discipline is not new to anybody from not decades but centuries together. With the passage of time, its meaning has been taken as per the convenience. I'm a bit humorous, so there would be some touches of the humor in my speech. What happens, I will give an example that this country requires Bhagat Singh, but Bhagat Singh should not take birth in my house, in neighbor's house. Absolutely. In the same way, child should be disciplined, but not my child, somebody else's child. In such a way, I like the title of the topic, that positive discipline practices. There should not be any confusion that there is any term like positive discipline or negative discipline. Discipline is the discipline. That positive attribute has been used for the practices. What practices are to be used with the changing of time. When I was the student of a boarding school, it was not a very reputed one, but we had the hostel. So the method of waking us up was totally different. We were a bit irritating at that time, but now we understand the importance of that one. That voice of the whistle, sound of the whistle. That too at 4 o'clock.
Wow.
And it has conditioned us. Now when I was in that school, I was just 12 or 13-year-old. Now today I'm 59. Last 46 years, they have set the biological alarm in it. That is called the positive practice of inculcating discipline. My eyes opens and I see in clock or mobile, it's almost 4:01, 4:02, sometimes 3:59 like biological alarm. I don't set alarm. So that is my own experience I'm telling. So what exactly to be practiced at home and at school also, because I was the student of the boarding school, our experiences were totally different. But majority of the schools are the day schools, but they start around 7:30. That means the child has to board the bus or the transport around 6:30, 6:45. If the days unfold with the day of the child unfold with the waking up, the what practices are to be inculcated in the child so that waking up situation should be
eliminated.
Yes, one. Waking up should be conditioned. It should be conditioned with the waking up. So before I enter into the unfolding of the day of the child, Let me talk about the discipline. It is a sum total of punctuality, time management, organizing the things, self-control over the temptation. I will explain this term very much, and withdrawal from any sort of distractions. Yes. Any sort of distraction. These 4 terms. As far as punctuality is concerned, let me explain that one. I was principal near Hisar, Haryana. Once I was passing through one school, on main gate in the capital letters it was written, if you want to be punctual, no need to study any definition of punctuality, but be in time or on time on the school gate. That is called the punctuality. In time or on time. Secondly, we as an individual, we need to learn time management also. God has given 24 hours to each and every individual. Let us minus 8 hours of the day in sleeping. That is required also, biologically also, scientifically also. The remaining 16 hours, how should I manage it? I being a student, or I being a professional, I being a leader also, I have to manage that time in an effective way so that each and every moment of that time is to be utilized in a pragmatic way and in a positive way. Third thing, the organizing thing, and how it will start from the school or at home. That I will explain later. You just enter in any place. If those things are arranged in a proper way, made with the living room of somebody, or even the drawer of somebody's table also. Inside that drawer, everything has been kept in a organized manner. Pens, pencils, punching machine, stapler, eraser, everything. It reflects the culture in which that individual has grown up. It is a feature of a discipline. Second thing, the self-control over the temptation. Let me take this 21st century children example, which attracts the children with the temptation, our mobile phone only. Sometimes we also drift with along with that temptation. We just pick up the phone only to see the time sometimes. But we are stand up there for 10-15 minutes checking the messages, WhatsApp messages, and they are tempting us. Unless and until somebody else at us in the house. If I'm child, my mother or my father, if I'm husband, my wife, or somebody else, then only I realize that I just have taken the phone only for seeing the time, and I'm engaged in this mobile phone for 10-15 minutes unnecessarily. So that self-control is required to check the temptation. And last is the withdrawal from the distraction also. If I'm doing one work, that is to be done at one time. Don't attempt to do 2 works together. Both of the works will be spoiled. 100%. You take a simple example. If you are a housewife or girl also, daughter at home, and if your mother asks you to prepare a tea, along with that, a mobile is in your hand. And 100% you are going to spoil that tea also. And whatever you are seeing in the mobile also, that you will never remember. So try to do one thing at one time only.
Okay.
So for their withdrawal from the distraction. Okay. These all are the features of the discipline. Okay. Otherwise, majority of the people understand discipline is the area of the military people. Discipline is the matter of to listen to the speeches of the principals like me unnecessary. And as a student, I will say, what does he know? He doesn't know anything like that. The person who has spent 3 decades or 4 decades and he is being your principal and you are giving the remark as a student. It reflects your culture also. Let me give us them. Yesterday, 12th class exam was cancelled by Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Is it the matter of jubilation? It's not. Some students Some students of mine, they have called me, sir, what is this? It's a question of our life. It reflects the discipline of their house. And some students on the WhatsApp group of the class are putting up the picture of the cake and celebration and everything. Understand? So it in our behavior only, it reflects our discipline. What exactly? Now, as charity begins at home, discipline also starts with home only. Altogetherly, I can't say as a father that I paid this much fees and it is the job of the school and let them take care. No, certainly not. And it can't be rejected outrightly by the school authorities also, because his house atmosphere is like that only. In fact, it is the parent and school partnership to inculcate the discipline in the child, to instill the discipline in the child. So if 24 hours is taken, as I have told, 8 hours minus 16 hours, morning time, how to wake up. Suppose I am a father, I want that discipline of waking up in the time is to be inculcated, or my child is to be conditioned with that waking up, standard waking up time. It is my duty as a father to get up 15 minutes at least before I go to wake up my child. Then only it is of any. You are sleeping, hey, you get up. He will also not bother, or she will also not bother. And set the routine till the child boards the bus, either school bus or your own transfer, whatever it may be. And if I would prefer and would appreciate to those parents, if they could still 30 minutes setting in that timetable morning session, 10 minutes for meditation and 20 minutes for the light exercise. And mother and father should sit along with them and they should do it. In such a way, it can be done. Only busy man has got a lot of time. The person who doesn't have any work, he doesn't have any time, I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
If they wish, they can integrate this 30 minutes and they will see the long reaching effect upon the life of the child, upon the life of the family atmosphere, upon the life of the school where he goes also. Once the child is ready, if the school operates the bus, if he is on time on the bus station, or every day, so many cars are bus, just sir 1 minute late and bus has, because we have given the instructions to our drivers, wait for 1 minute, thereafter you don't bother about anybody. But thereafter next ring will be to me or my vice principal. It has happened that because once they miss the bus, they have to travel for 25 kilometers, which they don't want. Because our school is in the outskirts of Guntur. So if you are, yes sir.
You have to allow me to come in, sir. So can discipline be enforced? I mean, like you're expecting it
No. I'm not talking of enforcing it, sir. Just I want to condition the child with the There is a difference between enforcing comes. I instead of using, generally I attempt to use the word bulldoze instead of enforcing. Instead of bulldozing the discipline, better we condition the child. We have to convince. It is a time-consuming business. We have to convince the time how it is important.
Another small interjection. Is that discipline is the derivative of time only? I mean, like if somebody is doing something on time, that will be called a discipline, or discipline that is a derivative. Yes, because
that
we need to understand.
That is one of the feature of punctuality. I'm telling. Time management.
Exactly. Yes,
which are the factors or aspects related to the term discipline. These are the most important factors.
As you quoted out that 12th class examination were cancelled and there was a jubilation among students.
Yeah.
So this was also a picture of discipline. There were my son, I tell you, my son who's already done his 12th standard, he said, Daddy, ye kya hua? Hamare time mein to aisa nahi ho, hame to exam dene pade the. So it is an appeal for him. So this is another picture. The discipline, you have very right. I'm sorry, sir, I have to take on it to the other speakers from here because time has asked me to go to them. But you have very, very rightly pointed out, you have very rightly explained the entire clock, and you have included the responsibilities of the parents. It is a joint participation of parents and teachers. And very rightly, we agreed on the term that discipline is not the derivative of time. Discipline is the derivative of your approach and your behavior.
Yes. Now the child is in the class, school.
Hmm.
Is it? He's in the classroom. Dressing sense is to be checked by school. How he has worn the uniform. It starts with that one. Understand? How he is lining up in the morning assembly right from the class. Third, when the dissipation of the academics takes place, how does he reflect in the classroom? That is the responsibility of the teacher. For example, if I am a teacher, I was a teacher, it was the strict instruction. When I'm delivering some academic module, nobody is going to write anything in the notebook unless and until I ask to do so, or nobody will be borrowing pen and pencil from the other child. Rather, their hands should be folded and they should concentrate upon the board, upon the and concentrate upon the delivery of the lecture of the teacher. Otherwise, teacher is giving lecture and you are asking pen whether your notebook is there. So that is to be inculcated by, you may say it is enforcing. Sometimes we have to be unkind to become kind, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Understand? So that is very important. Second thing, the homework is to be given to the children. It should be quality and purposeful. Unless and until I know the purpose, why should I take interest in doing that homework? For example, once upon a time I was a science student also. That in chemistry, that titration, some practicals are there. Still, I did not understand what was the purpose of it. Perhaps I may not be interested in that. That is why, but it was the job of my teacher to make me understand the purpose. So quality, I was talking about the quality homework and this. Then only, otherwise you write down the answers of the questions given at the back of the lesson or something else. The teacher has to design the questions, pragmatic questions, where good answers or for that answers, the child should be very curious to know, very explorative also, because internet is at their hand. Immediately they should give what is exactly this one. I will give a small example if I am running out of time. The last example. For example, I was that one story of giraffe. I'm habitual of telling stories in the morning assembly. Disability people are here. They may be knowing that one. So giraffe story was there. That mama giraffe, they have used frequently mama giraffe means mother giraffe. Then the question comes to me, there must be some word for the female giraffe, for the male giraffe, for the calf of the giraffe. How can you say all giraffe only, for male giraffe also giraffe? Then I started exploring it. Then to my surprise, what exactly some of our dignitaries may be knowing that mother giraffe or female giraffe is called cow giraffe. Father giraffe, male giraffe is called bull giraffe. You see, this is the such type of ideas to be flashed in the mind of the child if he is doing the homework or anything.
Right,
so this conditioning is to be done at the school level. That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really, it was brilliant and real insightful. I'll have to take on forward from here, and I'll invite Dr. Padma Kuti to have her insights upon the positive discipline in the school, at the home.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nagpal and Mr. Chandrasekhar. It was great to hear you with those live examples. And I feel that school and home cannot be discriminated, because a parent is a teacher at home and a teacher is a parent in school. So whatever practices I expect my teachers to enforce in class, I also tell my parents to hold hands and practice the same, so that we can bring up the child together, because it is a triangle: the school, the parent, and the child. And both the school and the parent are working with the sole objective of the well-being of the child. And this is a very interesting and nice topic. And I've been attending sessions of HEMA Foundation earlier also, and I'm really enriched by the knowledge that Dr. Nagpal and Dr. Chinu Agarwal share in all those sessions. So thank you so much. And here I would like to say that if we just categorize the children into 3 groups, like from ages 3 to 6, 6 to 12, and 12 and above, I would like to quote 3 positive practices for each age group. You know, I was thinking of 5, but I think that will become too much. So I'll quote at least 3. So, at this tender age of 3 to 6, stories, role plays, and videos are very, very effective. And so if you teach a desirable behavior through these practices, it is definitely going to be imbibed by the child very soon. Also, at this age, the child will always try to engage you into a power struggle. So as a parent and as a teacher, you need to slightly ignore this mild misbehavior. Don't try to correct the child at every front. At certain times, you need to learn to ignore and not absolutely enforce yourself as an adult at every time trying to show the direction to the child. And even at that tender age, you try and show respect to the child by acknowledging his or her feelings. So this will immediately help you to build connections, and the child will feel that, oh, I am also an important place in this situation. Okay, make the child feel important, even a child as young as 3 to 6. And definitely the best practice is, even as adults, at this point also, I have all my teachers, and when they do something valuable and contribute well to the school, I give them those well done cards. And a teacher as old as 65 also in my school says, I preserve those cards. That's so precious for me, ma'am. So imagine children of ages 3 to 6 or 6 to 12, 12 and above. Reward the child immediately. Don't wait to say that let him do something better and then I'll reward the child. Verbal praise should be immediate. The moment you see the child has done something which is rewarding, say, acknowledge the child, praise the child, and appreciation at any age is acceptable. So the 3 to 6 year old child will fill his or her heart with, and swell with pride, fill with joy that I was praised, and the positive behavior will then keep repeating. Okay. That's how we are going to help that positive practice. And while talking to the children as young as even 3 to 6, always tone down your language, because I have learned this through experience and by talks with educationists and parents, that the moment you tend to talk in a higher tone, the child learns or accepts that this is the right kind of behavior, and the child also tries to reflect that in his conversation. So the child will always try to talk in a high volume or behave high-handed with individuals around, because that's the kind of behavior he or she is saying. So there cannot be any achievement through shouting. I always tell my teachers, my parents, that if you keep shouting at the child, you're not going to achieve anything. But the moment, what you can do with your eyes, by the look, that can work better than your loud voice, Just go and stand in the class quietly, give a smile and give a look, a mixed look with your eyes, and the child will understand what he or she is expected to behave, and automatically the children settle down in the class. So, this is 3 to 6. And similarly, if I talk about children in the age groups of 6 to 12, so it's very important that we keep telling children that this is wrong, this is wrong. We generally don't tend to say what is right. So focus on the right than the wrongs. The moment a child does something wrong, we immediately say, oh, this is wrong. This is not supposed to be done this way. Okay. So instead, we can always explore and tell the child that this is the right way to do it. Explain the alternatives that can be done for a misbehavior. So, for example, if I tell the parent that, your child is very active, and so she says that even if I take him to a grocery or a mall, he tends to pick up things and, just put them here and there. So instead of shouting at the child or making him feel a little unwanted in the crowd, you can always tell the child, come on, now let's all rearrange whatever we have bought, and engage him, involve him. Because what you can deliver by involving a child, you cannot achieve by anything else. The moment you tell the child that he is important, she is important, and you involve the child in a practice, the child will automatically learn to continue that practice and also spread that joy. Always model the desire you want to see in the child. Like Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. We want our children to be disciplined, but we are all over the place without following any proper rituals, So let's model. Yes, Dr.
Mahatma Gandhi ji believed in the enforcement of the discipline. He was very sweet.
So,
Whereas in your talk, in fact, I wanted to ask this question: force and the pampering. What do you think should be the percentage? Like what percent force and what percent pampering?
I would take a midway. I would say strike a balance.
50-50? It's a
I
diplomacy.
think 30-70. Pampering ka bhi, there is, you need to take pampering also positively, because it's important. What you can gain by love, you cannot gain by force.
So you are not discounting the possibility of the fear in inculcating the principle. Discipline.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
To a certain extent, maybe. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So, I always feel that instead of telling the child that your room is messy, instead of putting the blame on the child, we can say, come on, I think the room there are things strewn all over. Let's collectively do it, because this is the right kind of way the room has to be maintained, and see how nice you feel when everything is put up in order. And that will automatically give the message to the child, So this is, you're not pampering the child, you're just handholding him or her to go in the right direction. That's very important, because, gone are the days when we can force and shout at the child and force them to do things. A child as young as 4-year-old also would come and have her own views, to discuss. So it's very important that we do this. And, as a parent, I always ask my son, what is it that you did not like or you wouldn't like me to do? And, my son is 23 now. And he says, Mom, I never want you to compare me with anyone. I'm unique. I'm myself. So I would say this is generally what we parents tend to do. And as teachers also, I tell my teachers, never read out the marks when you're handing over the class test papers. Just call out to the child and you say, Jatin, take this. Sajad, take your marks. Anushri, take your marks. And put positive remarks, because there is always scope for improvement. There's no dead end in any endeavor. There's always scope for improvement. You can keep on improving and moving ahead.
Dr. Padmaja, I have to intervene now because I have to take another panelist also. But yes, mathematically also we concluded something, we churned out something. There has to be a balance of force and the love when you are dealing with the children, and there has to be the different wants for the different categories of the children. You cannot really put all the children in the same category. If the time will permit, then I'll include my Dr. Chinu and this also in a very important question. Now, thank you so much. I'll move on to Dr. Janki Verma, and I would expect her to have her insightful opinions on this positive discipline in family and home.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, madam.
So, thank you, Dr. Padmaja and Chandrasekhar ji. It was very nice hearing you. And obviously, there are certain things which have been repeated of obviously what I wanted to share with all of you. So, positive discipline practices, when we talk about it, these are actually totally opposite of all the techniques that we have been resorting to. We always shout, we always threat our child, we always bribe. So what positive discipline technique is actually the opposite of it. When we are redirecting the child's behavior, when we are praising, that is actually when we are nipping the behavior in the bud itself and stopping the bad behavior from happening. So positive discipline actually talks about when parents state clearly what are the acceptable behaviors and what are the non-acceptable behaviors to the child.
Very good.
It is basically, setting the clear rules that this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. You have to be strict, at the same time, you have to be kind. You're not shouting, your tone is firm, but you're saying it in a tone, as Dr. Padmaja said, you have to, just with that eye contact, the child understands that, okay, I have done something which is not acceptable. So we actually don't need to resort to shouting or yelling, because when we do that, we are actually teaching the child or giving the child the message that it is okay to shout at someone, it is okay to hurt someone, it is okay to disrespect someone.
Yes.
So, for example, I would like to say about a technique, that redirecting. So when a child is engaging in a unacceptable behavior, Say for example, thumb sucking for toddlers. So what do? You keep on saying no, 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 no. The child doesn't listen, because ultimately after a point, the child gets tuned into listening to no of yours. So what do? You can, or if he's playing with a dangerous equipment, say pens or knives or whatever. So instead of that, we redirect the child to do something which is more meaningful, to play with the Play-Doh, or give him blocks, give him Legos, so that his mind is diverted from that. We are redirecting him from that dangerous play or the undesirable habit to something which is more desirable, which is more acceptable. For toddlers or for adolescents, if they're playing too much on the mobile game, so instead of we say, okay, too much of mobile, don't use, then they will not listen to us. So it is better that we say that, okay, this is, you'll get it for this much time, and then now it's time for us to go and play outside. Also, positive reinforcements and praise help a lot, because whenever the good behavior is praised, it is, the research suggests that children and all of us, even you, me, I, everyone, whenever we are praised, we feel good about it. And we are internally motivated to do that thing more. If I'm not praised, if I'm, always scolded about something, then I'll automatically, my mind will shut off.
Okay.
So, it is, and praise should be given at the same time, immediate. And we should not tell the child, okay, you've done this, so you're a good boy. After an hour, maybe he'll do something else, and then you'll say, okay, you're a bad boy now. So good boy, bad boy creates a confusion in the child's head. So instead, we should be praising the act or the behavior.
Very important. Very important.
That, you've cleaned up the room very nicely.
Yes,
and mama really appreciates it, or mama is really happy that you picked up all your toys. So that also gives a sense of responsibility to the children. Same things apply to teachers as well. When say for example, a child who's not good so much in art or in anything, maths, so the teacher can say, okay, you put in efforts into that. And I'm really happy that you've at least tried, rather than tumhe kuch nahi aata, baki sabko dekho. So again, as Dr. Padmaja said, you shouldn't compare anyone. Comparing is not going to take us anywhere. That is not how you discipline a child. Also, giving them long lectures. Okay, अब तुम्हारा टाइम हो गया है, 10 बज गए, टीवी बंद करो, मैं कब से बोल रही हूँ, ब्रश करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. So just 5 minutes before the bedtime, you give a reminder that, okay, it's time for us to sleep. Or you just use a single word, bedtime, sleep time, so that the child knows. When you give long lectures to the child will shut down.
It's basically ideal situation, Dr. Janki.
Actually, but it's very difficult to go into that.
In that situation, everything works so smoothly, but the problem is that things are really not smooth around us.
Right.
And then only the question comes, and we are talking about it. Despite, I mean, like, there'll be no parent who would wish their children to get in discipline. Nobody in the world. I mean, they intensely wish their children to remain disciplined. So is the principle of teachers, but still we are not having that that reciprocation. So I mean, like, वो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, पूत के पग पालने में दिखते हैं. अब मुझे ऐसा लगता है बच्चे को देख के हम परिवार के बारे में बता सकते हैं.
Right.
So we very so if we try to somehow come to the bottleneck of our discussion, then and if I put that in a question, how much out of 10 you think the discipline of a child is a derivative of the family?
I would say 10 on 10.
Oh my God. Oh, it's a very good answer. In fact,
because actually what I was coming to next was, we have to model the behavior to the child.
Correct.
If husband and wife are shouting in front of the child, then the child will feel, okay, it's okay to shout. And if I want to get my point straight, I can shout. I can yell at anyone.
Correct.
So, but then the same thing can be told by either of the spouse in a proper way, in a firm tone, or probably when the child is not there, go inside a room and talk about it. But shouting, yelling is not going to help, because that is what the child is learning from you.
Okay.
So whatever we do, it's, actually we are the role models for the children. And similarly, the teachers are the role model for the children. If teacher in a class is humiliating someone, then obviously all others will start bullying him or will start humiliating him. कि टीचर का ये नॉट फेवरेट है, टीचर इसको तो कुछ नहीं आता क्योंकि मैम इसको हमेशा डांटती रहती है, ये कभी होमवर्क अपना लेकर नहीं आता. सो ह्यूमिलिएशन शुड नेवर बी इन फ्रंट ऑफ एवरीवन. Yes, you can praise children in front of others.
Can we privately do that?
Sorry?
Can we privately do that?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Janki. It was really,
Thank you.
really very important. And you were so candid in your answers. I must say that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now I would move on to our next panelist, and she's Mrs. Neeta Aditya. We are waiting for your insightful discourse on this positive behaviors in children's school and faculty. Neeta Aditya.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nagpal sir. Good evening, everyone. And thank you so much, HEMA Foundation, for giving me this opportunity that I am going to share this platform with all the renowned people. And this is really very interesting and current topic, sir. SCST Joshi sir also told about that. And so many points have been explained by all the people, and might be possible to some topics, some points will be repeated by me also. So just really a current topic. I just want to talk about this situation. It has been more than 1 year that we have been living in a lockdown, and still we are getting used to it on a daily basis. Somewhere we feel frustrated because we have our own responsibilities of present and future. And in all of it, we often neglect the mental state of our children, of our kids. Parents need to understand that children enjoy socializing and playing, and they just want to invest their energy. Because when the parent are also coming to us, being a part of a school, they are complaining us. Our kids are at home, that's why they are becoming indisciplined and like that, because they are not coming to school regularly. But this is the very important time, very crucial time. And here the point of discipline issues arises. Like Joshi sir also told us, like our charity begins from home, discipline also starts from home only. If we talk about the positive discipline or any kind of discipline at home, so I just want to tell one thing. If you want to change a child's behavior, you must connect before correct. We always want to correct our child.
Beautiful.
But first, please connect yourself with your child. How he or she will obey your instructions, and what guidelines you are giving to her. So first connect with him. So it is important to focus on teaching good behavior rather punishing bad behavior, as Kuti ma'am also told about this, because spanking, slapping, and other forms of physical punishment don't work well to correct a child. Behavior the same holds true for yelling and shouting or shaming a child. So as a parent, most of the people are parent over here who are sitting. So as a parent, this is our very important job. One of our jobs to teach our child is to behave. And we have to make her understand what is good behavior and bad behavior. It is not a matter of discipline only. It's a matter of behavior. How this child, how your kid is behaving in front of other people, in front of teacher, in front of his students, or in front of friends, family members, like that. So it's a job that takes time and patience, but it helps to learn the effective and healthy discipline strategies. First, very important thing, if you really want to discipline our child, as a parent, give your proper attention to him. Every child wants his or her parents' proper attention. The most powerful tool for positive discipline is attention of parents. And in the school is also the same thing. If one child is misbehaving or doing something, it means he wants to attract the attention of his or her teacher. That's why he's doing like that. For that, and at home, for that, parents have to come out to their mobile phones life, because they all are busy in mobile phones and all. They are having their own responsibilities, and they just want to that their child should be very disciplined. Without their attention, without their proper time, like that. So every children, I just want to say, every child want his or her parents' attention. So parents should listen to them very patiently and give them proper time. Parents should spend a quality time with them. Like each day we can talk with them, building a healthy relationship. Quality time can include, we can play with them, talking, and simply enjoy one another company. That the child should realize that my parents are my best friends. I can share everything. And if you will give them proper attention, I tell you, they will be proper disciplined and they will be a person of good behavior. Also, we can make time to talk our child about the feelings he experienced throughout the day, as I do as a parent with my kids. My daughter is 23 years old and my son is 19 years old. They are adult, but every day we sit together, we enjoy, we share the things, what we have experienced today, the feelings, about what the saddest moment of the day, what the happiest moment of the day, what they felt, like that. So these things are there. These things are there really that helps in making a proper discipline and showing a good behavior. We can, as a parent, we can encourage our children for their good behavior. Like Janki ma'am also spotlight this point, that if they are behaving good, when they doing something good, so we have to notice their good behavior and just try to ignore their bad behavior sometimes. Automatically it will work, because when the child will see that when I'm behaving very good, my mother and my father, my sister, my brother, they are paying me attention, they are giving me affection. So definitely they will stop bad behaving.
Madam, in fact, you are raising a point which is of very serious concerns, and in that you have said that if there are some errors from the children's, then shall it be ignored? Do you agree to that? It shall be ignored.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Well, I have the counter opinion.
Exactly. And when we appreciate them, because when we are catching their good behavior, so we should appreciate, we should praise them.
Yes,
that they are putting their things on time, they are doing their work on time. So these are some good examples, some specific example we have to set, and we have to tell them. If their children are small, we can tell them, oh, wow, you are putting your things on proper place. You have made your bed properly before sleeping. You are putting your utensils in the sink. Like, so these are small sentences we can use every day. And if one, then they are, yes, sir.
Because we are running out of time, I have to have other panelists into the discussions. I would like to call in Dr. Chinu here. Dr. Chinu, the question which I wish to raise here is, see, we are living in a kind of world where we are having, I should say, compulsions are there. We cannot really spare that much of time with you. Second thing which I wish to know from you, should fear be introduced in the discipline attitude of the children? These are the two things, Dr. Chinu, we wish to have your views on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal. And I was having a roller coaster ride today when I was hearing, from the keynote speaker to Padmaja ji, and then Dr. Janki and Neeta ji. And I was waiting for my turn to clarify certain things. So we need not inculcate fear for the simple reason that we are already born with fear.
Correct.
And we are also born with another thing, that is hunger. हम दो ही चीजें लेकर दुनिया में आए, एक डर और एक भूख. अब ये जो हंगर है, इस हंगर में कई सारे डायमेंशंस हैं. Research says that you give adequate food to the child, the infant. आप उसको रेगुलरली खाना दो, पर आप उसको स्टिमुलस मत दो. आप उसको अगर प्यार ना दो, आप उसको टच ना दो, तो वो श्रिवल हो जाएगा. और जैसे बिना खाने के मरने का पोटेंशियल है, वैसे ही बिना प्यार के भी मरने का पोटेंशियल है. We all need stimulus, recognition to survive in this world. Second thing, besides this, we are also born with another hunger that is called a structure hunger. अगर आप राजा महाराजा भी हो तो भी आपके सामने रोज सुबह उठ के 24 घंटे नए खड़े हो जाते हैं. इन 24 घंटों का हम करें क्या? How do we structure ourselves in these 24 hours? So when we are talking about discipline practices, we are talking about two dimensions essentially. एक है स्नेह, जिसके बिना हम सर्वाइव नहीं कर सकते, that is warmth. And second is अनुशासन. अब हमारे पैनलिस्ट इसके बीच में बैलेंस क्रिएट करने की जो बात बोल रहे थे, अगर वार्मथ एक्सेसिव हो जाएगा तो क्या होगा? रिसर्चर्स साफ है, कहते हैं कि फिर वो जो बच्चे हैं सेल्फ इंडल्जेंट हो जाएंगे. अगर कंट्रोल ज्यादा हो जाएगा तो क्या होगा? वो सबमिसिव हो जाएंगे. अगर दोनों ही नहीं है उनकी लाइफ में, हमने स्नेह भी नहीं दिया, हमने अनुशासित भी नहीं किया, तो क्या होगा? They will become wasted. Then what do? We involve them. And that's why discipline practices are divided into three. One is power assertion. अपने पावर को असर्ट करके डिसिप्लिन करने की कोशिश करना, जो ट्रेडिशनली हम लोग करते आए हैं. रिसर्च कहती है it is absolutely ineffective practice and results in lots of psychological and emotional damages in children. So I disagree a lot with the keynote speaker over here. We are not considering the individual differences in the personalities of the children when we say they should. उनको ऐसा करना ही चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होता है. कुछ लोग अपने स्ट्रक्चर के और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के प्रति एक एफिनिटी लेकर ही पैदा होते हैं. So I as a person would like to go to the airport 2 hours before the time. और सब लोग बोलते हैं कि आप अभी से स्टेशन पे आके बैठ गए, अभी से एयरपोर्ट पे आके बैठ गए. कुछ लोग हैं उनकी पर्सनालिटी की लास्ट मिनट पे ही उनको करना है कैच. दूसरी पर्सनालिटी वाले लोग भी हमारी दुनिया में उतने ही जरूरी है. नहीं तो आप आर्ट कैसे बनाओगे, क्रिएशन कैसे करोगे? अगर डिसिप्लिन में रहेगा तो सिर्फ ज्योमेट्री होगी, तो फिर पेंटिंग होगी ही नहीं, कलरिंग होगी ही नहीं. आपके दिमाग से अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड चीजें कैसे आएंगी? दूसरी बात ये है, मैं जैसा सोचती हूँ वैसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आप भी सोचो. आप अपनी खुद की कॉग्निशंस लेकर दुनिया में आए हो. शॉन पियाजे बहुत बड़े साइकोलॉजिस्ट और रिसर्चर्स है कॉग्निशन में, कहते हैं आप अपनी कॉग्निटिव स्कीमा लेकर दुनिया में पैदा हुए हो. आप अपनी बायोलॉजिकल रिदम्स लेकर पैदा हुए हो. आप 4 बजे उठने की बात कर रहे हो, मैं तो 4 बजे तक सोती नहीं हूँ, जग जाहिर है. तो मैं 4 बजे उठूंगी कैसे? मेरा तो पीक परफॉर्मेंस ही उस टाइम में होता है. सो डिसिप्लिन प्रैक्टिसेस में पावर असर्शन इनइफेक्टिव निकला. सेकेंड, लव विड्रॉल. बहुत सारी माएं इस प्रैक्टिस को करके देख चुकी हैं. जाओ मैं तुमसे बात नहीं करती, जाओ मैं नानी के घर चली जाऊंगी, अगर ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा कर लूंगी. लव विड्रॉल से बच्चों के अंदर अप्रूवल सीकिंग पैदा हो जाता है. अब वो हर बात आपको खुश करने के लिए करने लगते हैं, तो अपनी ओरिजिनलिटी को खो देते हैं. सेकेंड प्रैक्टिस भी इनइफेक्टिव निकली. तो फिर कौन सी प्रैक्टिस इफेक्टिव निकली? डिसिप्लिन बाय इंडक्शन, जहां पर ये जानते हुए समझते हुए कि बच्चों को स्ट्रक्चर की जरूरत है, हम उनको एक स्ट्रक्चर प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बता रहे हैं, सीमाएं और बाउंड्रीज के बारे में उनको अवेयर कर रहे हैं, जागृत कर रहे हैं, और साथ में इसमें रहना पेनफुल है इसको भी रियलाइज कर रहे हैं. आप अगर चाहते हैं कि भाई रेड लाइट है और आपको गाड़ी रोकनी ही पड़ेगी क्योंकि ये रूल है। कोरोना है, आपको मास्क लगाना ही पड़ेगा, आपको सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग रखनी ही पड़ेगी। तो ये क्या है, रूल है। अब इस रूल को फॉलो करना पेनफुल है। तो लोग क्या बोलते हैं कि मास्क लगाने से सफोकेशन हो रहा है और हम कहीं आ जा नहीं पा रहे। तो इट इज अ पेनफुल थिंग। ये पेनफुल चीजें भी लाइफ में होंगी। लाइफ इज फुल ऑफ एडवर्सिटीज। तो ये कैसे बच्चों के साथ हो सकता है? नॉट बाय कंडीशनिंग, सॉरी, by induction, by deliberation, by discussion, by collaboration in a democratic way, not in the authoritative way.
Okay, Dr. Chino, as always, it is great. I have my keynote speaker have raised his hand. He's got some opinion. I would take your opinion.
No opinion, just because Dr. Chinu Agrawal, being a psychologist, I am now like a disciple. I want to ask her. I'm not going to.
Yes, please.
Sorry, emotional discipline, madam. I'm talking because it is very necessary for me to understand also, because certain lacuna I could find in my own personalities. So, is there any positive method to discipline our emotions? For example, I can't forget if somebody does anything wrong to me. Actually, that is wrong. I know very well. I know, but it is have a very adverse impact upon my life also, because I should learn to forget. That is not happening. Perhaps I'm not conditioned, in my own word, conditioned by my school or family for this emotional discipline. So if you could throw light, I would be really grateful in person to you.
Dr. Chinu.
So I'll take 1 minute. The things that you are saying, we all go through them for the simple reason that emotional education is absent in our formal education. So we have not been taught how to notice, label, identify, and be with our emotions. Sir, interestingly, we are having 5 negative emotions as opposed to only 1 positive basic emotion. So we will have, with happiness, fear, disgust, anger, and all these things are a part of a repertoire. तो जब कोई मेरे साथ गलत करता है, मुझे बुरा लगना नेचुरल है। तो जो आपको महसूस हो रहा है वो बिल्कुल नेचुरल और नॉर्मल है ना? और दूसरी बात यह है कि ह्यूमन माइंड जो है वो केवमैन का माइंड है आज भी, जहां पर हमारे पास 2 ब्रेन्स है, इमोशनल और प्रीफ्रंटल कॉर्टेक्स जो है थिंकिंग ब्रेन, हमारा रैशनल ब्रेन। अब इन दोनों में से ज्यादा हमारे ऊपर जोर चलाता है पुराना वाला। वो बोलता है कि मैं पुरानी हूं, आजकल की नई बहू मुझे क्या सिखाएगी, मेरी बात सुनना पड़ेगा। तो इमोशनल ब्रेन हमको हाईजैक करके रखता है, अपने कब्जे में करके रखता है। रैशनल ब्रेन तो नया है, अभी कुछ साल पुराना ही है, कुछ साल मतलब कुछ हजार साल। सो नाउ अब ये जो रैशनल माइंड है, इससे काम कैसे ले? जैसे आपने खुद के बारे में पहले तो आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि ये मेरी प्रॉब्लम है, मैं भूलता नहीं। फिर दूसरा आपने ये भी आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि इससे मुझे नुकसान होता है, आई एम ट्रबल्ड बाय दिस। दोनों चीजें आपने आइडेंटिफाई कर ली। तीसरा आपने ये भी आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि मुझे इसको छोड़ना है, आई हैव टू लेट गो ऑफ दिस हैबिट। अब तो बस एक ही काम रह गया है, वो है सिंपल सी बात, बीइंग कंपैशनेट टुवर्ड्स योरसेल्फ। I am a human being, I have some weaknesses, but at the same time, let me look at my own good points and give that care for me which I keep giving to others. धीरे धीरे जब ये कंपैशन आप खुद को देने लगेंगे तो खुद को हार्शली जज करना बंद कर देंगे। And one mantra I give you at the end is, we are all imperfect, fallible human beings. I have a right to make mistakes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Because this I do never talk in air. I always my approaches are always pragmatic and practical only. So, and in a very practical way, you have answered my query. Because that it has not become one, what we say, caveman. This one, it has become a disease for me. Means, in fact, I should forget. Forgiving is a very long thing. When I forget, then only I can forgive somebody.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Sometimes, that emotions overpower my mind. That if this responsibility was not for, I don't know how I would have been reacted, which could not be suited or framed to my stature and position.
Sir,
also.
I will just quote one research which says gratitude और forgiveness दो के ऊपर research की गई, तो ये find out किया गया researchers द्वारा, gratitude is easier, but forgiveness is very difficult. Not only for you, for the whole mankind. हम लोग जल्दी से forgive नहीं कर पाते. तो पहली बात तो ग्रेटिट्यूड प्रैक्टिस करना सीखो और फॉरगिवनेस बाद में कोशिश करें.
We will come on this emotional psychology. Sometimes we'll have a separate lesson. Cognizance and cognitive psychology is such a huge realm in which, I mean, like fear, psychosis, this all will come. So we'll have it later. Today we'll keep ourselves with the positive behaviors at a family and school, and obviously there had been a very good insights coming from everybody. Now it is time to invite Madam Anita Maheshwari to have or I would like to clear one thing here. Everybody said discipline him. I disagree. Discipline him and her both. That is very important. That is very important. Yes, it's something humorous which I said, but yes, child means. Yeah. I'll straight away go to Madam Anita Maheshwari for her conclusive remarks on today's webinar. Madam Anita Maheshwari.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal. बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने कि हम औरों को सिखाने में ज्यादा डिसिप्लिन का कि ये डिसिप्लिन नहीं है, और मेरे हिसाब से अनुशासन का अर्थ ही वो होता है कि निज पर शासन फिर अनुशासन. क्योंकि अनुशासन के बिना ना तो परिवार चल सकता है, ना संस्था, ना समाज, ना राष्ट्र और ना हमारा जीवन. तो एक छोटी सी कविता है कि स्वयं पर स्वयं का शासन, स्वयं पर स्वयं का शासन, यही कहलाता है अनुशासन. यह कोई पराधीनता नहीं और ना ही है कोई बंधन. यह है नियमों का अनुसरण और बनता है जिससे आदर्श जीवन. अनुशासन चेतना का परिष्करण है और अनुशासन सिद्धांतों का अनुकरण है. अनुशासन सुसंस्कार है और सफल जीवन का यही आधार है. अच्छे विद्यालय ही अनुशासन के निर्माता है और सुसंस्कृत परिवार में ही बालक अनुशासन पाता है. अनुशासित विद्यार्थी बढ़ाते हैं देश का मान और जो दिखाते हैं अनुशासनहीनता वो नहीं पाते कहीं भी सम्मान.
क्या बात है.
अनुशासन राष्ट्र हित में जरूरी है. ना सोचो कभी भी कि यह कोई मजबूरी है. कर्तव्यों का पालन हमारी जिम्मेदारी है और अनुशासित रहना ही जीवन में सच्ची समझदारी है. अनुशासन सफलता की धुरी है और प्रशासन, स्कूल, समाज और परिवार सबकी सफलता के लिए अनुशासन बहुत जरूरी है. अनुशासन परिवार, समाज और राष्ट्र की आवश्यकता है और बिना अनुशासन कोई भी आगे नहीं बढ़ पाता है. अनुशासन से ही समस्याओं का समाधान है और अनुशासन में ही विकसित होता ज्ञान है. अनुशासन जीवन का प्राण है और सफलता के लिए अनुशासन रामबाण है. अनुशासन पशुता से ऊपर उठाता है और अनुशासन ही मानव को मानव बनाता है. तो मेरे हिसाब से अनुशासन की ये परिभाषा है. थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर नागपाल.
थैंक यू सो मच अनीता जी. मेरे पास मैसेज आया है, मुझे अच्छा लगा. आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर इट कि सर बुरा लगना और बुरा बोलना दोनों बराबर होने चाहिए. This is what somebody has sent me, and it is very rightly it was very conclusively Anita ji has created out. Force, pampering, connect, coordination, and you have to deliberately take part into disciplining the children. You cannot really impose it. You cannot instruct it. Dr. Chinu has clarified it. And discipline is not derivative of time. Discipline is a derivative of our thinking and our behavior. That makes us disciplined. Hopefully, we go with very good lessons today. As expected by Anita ji, कुछ ना कुछ तो समुद्र मंथन में से निकल के आया ही है. We will try to apply it in our lives. The children.
हम आज के सेशन को एंड करें. इसके पहले हेमा फाउंडेशन में हम 25 जून हमारा हेमोत्सव डे रहता है. हर साल हमारा एनुअल डे इवेंट होता है हेमा फाउंडेशन का, जो कि इस वर्ष भी 25 जून को मनाया जा रहा है. बिकॉज ऑफ कोरोना हम वर्चुअली ये मीट कर रहे हैं. और इसमें विशेष रूप से जो मैं आपको सूचना देना चाहती हूँ कि हेमा फाउंडेशन अकेली ऐसी संस्था है जो कि नैतिक मूल्यों के लिए सभी को सम्मानित करना चाह रही है. तो हमने स्कूलों के लिए कंपटीशन रखा है. नेशनल वैल्यू एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड, नेशनल वैल्यू
हेम वैल्यू एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड,
हेम वैल्यू एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड, देन हेम रत्न अवार्ड. ये स्कूलों के लिए कंपटीशन है और इसके जो भी कैटेगरीज हैं, क्राइटेरियाज हैं, वो आप तक मेल के थ्रू पहुंच जाएंगे. इसके अलावा एक और कंपटीशन है हेम वर्च्यूज. हेम वर्च्यू हमारा ई प्लेटफॉर्म है जो कि हमने पिछले वर्ष 25 जून को इसका शुभारंभ किया था. और इस एक वर्ष के भीतर हमारे साथ लगभग 3 लाख विद्यार्थी जुड़े हुए हैं. ऑलमोस्ट 5000 स्कूल जुड़े हुए हैं. 5000 के लगभग ये प्रिंसिपल और टीचर्स हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं. तो आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी और उसका क्राइटेरिया भी आप लोगों तक पहुंचेगा, पूरी गाइडलाइन पहुंचेगी. फिर एक और विशेष अवार्ड हमारा कंपटीशन कॉन्टेस्ट होने जा रहा है जो कि हेम संपर्क, जैसा हमारे राजीव जी हमारे बीच है, डेली एक हेम संपर्क की क्विज आप लोगों तक आती है. उसके लिए हमने 25 जून को हेम संपर्क क्विज कॉन्टेस्ट रखा है. मेगा क्विज कॉन्टेस्ट है ये और लाखों रुपए के इनाम है. ऑलमोस्ट 226 इसके अंदर इनाम है, जिसमें ई बाइक भी है, लैपटॉप है, टैबलेट्स हैं, जूसर, मिक्सर ग्राइंडर, ब्लूटूथ स्पीकर, हेडफोन्स, so many attractive prizes. and schools के लिए मेरा बताना रह गया था कि जो हम अवार्ड आप लोगों को देने जाएंगे स्कूल को, उसमें हेम रत्न अवार्ड के लिए हमने 51,000 का कैश प्राइज रखा है. हेम वैल्यू नेशनल एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड जो कि 5 रहेंगे, उसके लिए हमने 21,000 का कैश प्राइज भी रखा है. ट्रॉफीज तो आप तक पहुंचेगी, लेकिन उसके साथ में एक एडिशनल टोकन ऑफ लव. सो आप सभी लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी कि इसमें अपने आप को नॉमिनेट करिए और सभी लोग पार्टिसिपेट करिए. वेदर आप स्टूडेंट हैं, आप टीचर हैं, आप प्रिंसिपल हैं. प्रिंसिपल्स के लिए हमने हेमश्री अवार्ड रखा है क्योंकि बिना प्रिंसिपल बच्चे हम तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे. हमने टीचर्स के लिए हेम सारथी करके अवार्ड रखा है. इसके अलावा जो संस्थाएं हमारे साथ पहले भी एसोसिएटेड हैं और भविष्य में भी जो हमारे साथ सहयोग देना चाहे, उनके लिए हमने हेम पिलर्स अवार्ड भी रखा है. सो बहुत सारे प्राइजेस हैं. तो प्लीज एसोसिएट होइए और इसे लोगों तक बताइए कि इस तरीके का एक कंपटीशन जो नेशनल लेवल पे होने जा रहा है. और हेम संपर्क मेगा क्विज जो हमारी है वो ग्लोबली होने जा रहा है, क्योंकि हमारे साथ बहुत सारी कंट्रीज भी जुड़ी हुई हैं. तो बाकी की जितने कॉम्पिटिशन्स हैं वो सिर्फ इंडिया लेवल तक हैं. एंड हेम संपर्क मेगा क्विज कॉन्टेस्ट जो है वो ग्लोबली हम आयोजित करेंगे. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anita ji. Thank you so much. It is time to forward my sincere thanks. Specifically, I will name two. Lakshmi Narayan ji and Rathi ji Vaisa, I can see today in today's webinar. I really thank you from bottom of my heart that you've been always attending these webinars.
और डॉक्टर नागपाल, भारत विकास परिषद से राम लक्ष्मण जी नौलखा जो कि मेरे मामा हैं, वो भी आज यहाँ पर उपस्थित है. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा और उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि भारत विकास परिषद को भी फिर से जागरूक करें और हमारे साथ पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करें.
हमेशा हेम संपर्क का कार्यक्रम ज्वाइन करके मुझे खुशी होती है मैं यहाँ पर माहेश्वरी समाज की कार्यकारिणी में जुड़ा हुआ हूँ। हमारे यहाँ 8 स्कूलें हैं जिनके अंदर करीब 22,000 स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ते हैं। तो
थैंक यू सो मच सर।
सब तक पहुँचाना चाहते हैं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. So today's keynote speakers, Mr. Chandrasekhar, speakers, Madam Padmaja, Madam Janki, Madam Neeta, and of course my HEMA Foundation family to make this event successful. And definitely we are having an elixir towards the disciplining arts. And thank you so much. Please request to show the next webinar's description. Thank you so much.